Welcome to another Forex Fast Track video. In this video, we will continue with trend lines and we would see examples of trend lines on a live chart. How are trend lines drawn? Different types of trend lines connecting points in an uptrending market, trend lines connecting points in a downtrending market. We'll see all of that in a live chart example, and in the next video we'll see how to build trend lines into channels that we can base our trading decisions on. So I have here a live chart of the pound USD. I'm just going to go ahead to put up a candlestick chart pattern, and I'm going to enlarge so that we can see what we are doing. Now this is a 1 hour chart, this is a 4 hour chart, this is a daily chart, this is a weekly chart of pound USD, that's GBP USD. I'm just going to zoom down to a 4 hour chart pattern for now, and we can see clearly things on the chart pattern. Okay, first thing I want to do in today's video is I want to show you how to use your MT4, how to customize your MT4, because as we go ahead with these videos, I want to show you around the usage of your MT4 so that you can make the best of your software. Now, if you look at this screen here, you will notice that we have some grid lines in the background. Those are little boxes in the background. You can, of course, get rid of that if you don't want it and just have a solid background. In order to do that, just do a right click on your chart window and then just go to grid and take off grid. Once you do that, you have a plain chart that has no grid lines at the back. And for you to bring back the grid lines, all you need to do is right click on your chart, and after you have done the right click, just bring back your grid lines and your grid lines will show up. I'm just going to go ahead and remove the grid lines so I have something plain that we can work with. And then I would also go ahead to do a customization of the way the chart looks. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to chart properties, and once you pick chart properties, you can change the color scheme. Right now we have a black background, but you can of course change the color scheme and have a white background and just go like this. And then once you have a white background, you would see that the background is now white, and then your bearish candles are now colored black, because remember, a bullish candle, those candles going up showing that prices are going up, will not be filled, and so they will take up the color of the background. So in this chart, the white candles are taking up the color of the background. Those are bullish candles, and then the black candles are taking up, the black candles are filled, they are colored black, showing us that those candles are showing that there was a decline in prices with those candles. So here is a bearish candle, a bearish candle, a bearish candle, and then you have a bullish candle, bullish candle, bullish candle right here. Now let's go back to trend lines. What I'll do is, as we go on with the videos, I'll show you things you can do with your MetaTrader 4 so that you get very familiar with your work environment. So we are back to trend lines, and we said that a trend line is a straight line that connects 2 points on our chart. And when those 2 points are connected, the trend line gives us a slope. And when we have a positive slope, we have a trend line that is showing that there is bullish momentum in the marketplace, which means the market is a bullish market. And then when we have a trend line that has a negative slope, we have a bearish momentum in the marketplace, and then we can say that the market is bearish. So how do you draw trend lines? Well, let me just go to the weekly chart for now, and then let's just do 1 or 2 examples here. Now, when you talk of a bullish, a trend line that is connecting 2 points in an uptrending market, all you need to do is look for a market that has an uptrend. For instance, if you look at this portion of this weekly chart, you would notice that the market is rising in this section. For instance, you are seeing a higher low because in an uptrending market you see higher lows and higher highs. So you are saying this is a low point here, but then this is another low point which is higher than this point, and then this is another low point which is higher than this point. This is another low point which is higher than this point. So you are seeing higher lows giving rise to an uptrending market. And then when you see higher lows, you also see higher highs. So you are saying this is a high point, this is another high point that is higher than this high point, and then you have another high point that is higher than this high point. So you are seeing higher highs and higher lows in an uptrending market. On this other side, you have a bearish momentum, and you are seeing that market is actually declining in price. And you see the reverse of what we saw in the first situation. In this second situation, of course, we expect to see lower highs and lower lows. So when the market is bearish, you are seeing lower highs and lower low. You see a high point here which is higher than this high point. So this high point is lower than this high point. So you are seeing a lower high and then a lower high and then a lower high, and then you are seeing lower lows. So the lows are getting lower, showing that there is bearish momentum in the marketplace and that market is coming down. So how do you draw a trend line? When you want to draw a trend line, what you are doing is you want to connect those points that are points of support, and you want to connect two or more price points. Either you are connecting it on top or you are connecting it at the bottom. For instance, if I'm going to draw a trend line, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to pick the trend line 2. And once I pick the trend line 2, I'm going to look to connect two or more prices upward like that. So I'm connecting this point with this point. Those are 2 points. And once I have connected those 2 points, then I have picked a trend line. And then this is a trend line that is having an upward slope. And because it is having an upward slope, then I am saying in essence that this is an uptrending market. It's as simple as that. And you can draw numerous trend lines on your chart, because I can do the same thing and look at this point and just do another trend line and try to pick points on my chart. So what I'm doing is I want to connect two or more lows. Now, you don't force trend lines. If you cannot connect those points and you cannot get 2-3 major points, then you are not really you are only forcing it. You are not really getting something. So you want to make sure that without working too hard or without trying, without forcing your lines, you are connecting points on your chart. Now, I'm just going to delete this and we are going to move to another time frame and just draw more trend lines. And I will show you what trend lines, how it works in the marketplace. And then we move to the next video where I show you channels. I show you how to draw, how to get channels on your chart, and how to make decisions based on channels in the marketplace. So let's just zoom down to a daily chart and let's try to draw a trend line on this chart. Now, once I have a downward slope, like that, I have my trend line coming from top to down, then what I am doing actually is that I am in a bearish market. That means I have connected a trend line that is showing that the market has a bearish momentum. So in this type of chart now, you can see that the slope is actually down. So I have connected like 3 points. I've connected this area, I've connected this area, I've connected this area, and it's showing that prices are coming down. Now, what you do with this kind of trend line is simply you just want to extend this kind of trend line into the future. And once you have extended the trend line into the future, since prices have bounced off this point numerous times, then you are expecting that sometime in the future, you would get prices returning to this point. That's all you are looking for in the trend line. You are looking at, okay, as time goes on, prices will tend to reach the point of this trend line. So as it is coming down, it will reach this trend line, go back up, reach this trend line, go back up, come back to touch on the trend line, go back up. And you can see that sometime in the future, it does the same thing. So we are expecting that since this is a downward trend, even this temporary retracement here, because when prices go back and it looks as if it is doing a deviation from the general trend you are seeing, then we call that a retracement. So prices are retracing here, just a pullback, or you call it a pullback. We are seeing this pullback, and then you are expecting that somewhere in the future, these prices will come back down to touch the trend line, which is acting as an area of support, and then prices will bounce back off that area and go back up again. And those form, points where you can take action in the marketplace. So when you draw lines like this to connect points on your chart, then you are drawing trend lines. So I can just go ahead and do something like this on top and just connect points, and I would have a trend line also. So once you do that, what you are doing actually is that you are drawing your trend lines, and that's what trend lines are. So you just pick 2-3 points on your chart and you draw a straight line to connect those points. Now, the moment you have your trend lines, you can now use your trend lines to build what we call channels. We can use trend lines to build channels. And then in the next video, I'm going to show you how to turn your trend lines into channels and how to make trading decisions based on those channels. And in the next video after that, we will look at how money is made and lost in the market as regards you making your buy and sell decisions. I will see you in the next video.